If I were the parent, I would be freaking out. This when my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, disappears and she's been abducted. She's sending me letters from her captor. I would be totally beside myself.
From what I see, it looks like that she was kidnapped, possibly held in this shipping container, possibly experiencing 9 months of hell, and then she hears everybody questioning her story. That's further re-victimizing her.
There's no need for her to show up to his arraignment. Typically, in past behaviors in cases like this, usually the victims don't do that. Usually they're so traumatized and stressed out, they don't even want to see their abductor.
People are teaching their kids at 3 not to talk to strangers. How do we teach 14-year-olds of what to do when someone friends them on Instagram or on Facebook?
I want to know what was going on with regards to, like, what they were doing online. What was his records or her records?
Whether she met the guy online or whether some guy took her and plucked her out of nowhere, she was 14. It's kidnapping. It doesn't really matter.
So let's talk about a 14, 15-year-old brain versus even a 16-year-old brain. It's a very different brain. These frontal lobes that I always talk about, very undeveloped in a 14, 15-year-old. And that is why they are so carefully protected by the law.
If this girl was taken against her will, that she has developed feelings and caring and empathy for her captor.
So what happens is, after these kinds of traumas, people have a sort of an internal shattering of their regulatory system, and you sort of have to rebuild that. You have to rebuild trust and the ability to be close to other people. So it's interesting, Jenna talked about them being productive in the world, being able to have relationships, being able to regulate their emotions. That's what we can look forward to. That's a success, but that takes a lot of work.
When a woman tells you, I'm going to kill you, you had better believe it. When she gets to that point with her man that she is saying, I am going to slice and dice, he better sleep with one eye open.
Maybe she had other psychiatric stuff that was making her so aggressive, like a bipolar disorder. People in these manic states will have, I've seen people punch their spouse in their sleep when they're manic. I've seen people do that with medication side effects.
The dynamic is in this relationship that the man is sort of the one down. He's always the one who's trying to please the one up, this wife. And so even when the wife is abusive, he will protect the wife. He will come into her defense. He will maybe even take on the blame for her.
This now is the most dangerous trend on the internet I have seen. Teens putting alcohol on their bodies and then setting themselves on fire for, you tell me. It's called the Fire Challenge.
It's all over my Facebook feed. I cannot imagine why people are doing this.
This is really dangerous, and with something that we need to teach our kids with social media, starting from literally babies with iPads at this point, that we can't put things on there, that this is real life. You know, you light yourself on fire, you're going to be on fire, and it's not just something that's going to get you more popular.
People have speculated that males try to harm themselves or do jackass-type stunts to show their genetic superiority.
Like
They can withstand all these things, and I think that's where some of this fire challenge has come from.
Dr. Drew,
This is what happened in the Washington household growing up. If she came in the bathroom and I was on fire, she would give me 1 cup of water, splash it on my chest, give me some cocoa butter, say, rub yourself down. I'm not calling the doctor. I'm not taking you to the ambulance. I'm not calling a news station, because you're not going to make me look crazy as a mom like I didn't raise you right.
Oh, here's the doll, my dear. Let me show it to you. It looks like a normal doll, doesn't it? What's the big deal? It's cute.
Okay, until you take off his onesie, right, Dr. Drew?
Yeah, he's got a onesie under his onesie. That's right.
All right, but
I think this is so inappropriate. I don't see any reason why a 2-year-old should have an anatomically correct doll. I mean, is there no semblance of innocence anymore?
oh my God, it's a penis. Run for the hills. I mean, Dr. Drew, it's normal, it's natural. Kids should not be afraid or ashamed of their body parts.
A frustrated guy thinks he's come up with the perfect formula for finding what he's sort of describing as a perfect spouse.
Above an 8 hot and between about a 7 and a 5 crazy. This is your wife zone.
Does anyone even understand the formula or the graph? I mean, I don't even understand what he's saying, Dr. Drew. I think he's a little bit crazy himself, but if any guy out there can figure out this formula, then I'll marry you.
Girls that are below 4 on crazy and above 8 on hotness, Dr. Drew surrounds them with a box and puts them on TV.
Okay.